On day 1, I spawned into some kind of western-looking town. It was under attack by spiders.
Make way for Octavia, the Scarlet Spinneret.
This here town is mine. Ain't nothing gonna stop me now.
A giant swarm of spiders stormed into town and started ransacking the whole place. Just then, the mayor of the town emerged.
Everyone ought to just calm down and surrender quickly so you don't get hurt.
Surrender? No way! I charged in and tried to fight her. Out of nowhere, there was a flash of red, and floating between me and the spider was the legendary Fire Hornet. Whoa, awesome!
Nice work, kid, but I'll take it from here. You just sit tight.
The Fire Hornet charged in, and an epic battle of titans began. With a ferocious uppercut, the Fire Hornet sent Octavia flying into the air in a ball of fire. But Octavia was unfazed. She unleashed a spray of venom into the air that rained down onto the battlefield below. The two moved their duel to the courtyard, where the fight continued with just as much vigor. I was so distracted by the awesome battle that I didn't even notice the spider minions coming at me from behind. Ah! On day 2, the spider minions caught me off guard, and I had to run away as fast as I could. I flew into a building to get away from the spider horde, where I spotted a strange item in the middle of the room. I need anything that might help. Here goes nothing. I picked it up, and suddenly I felt my body surge with energy. I had a new power that let me shoot flamethrowers. Whoa, this is just like the Fire Hornet. The spider minions caught up to me, and I turned around to face them. With my new power, I was more confident I'd be able to take them on. I shot at the minions with my newfound fire ability, but the spiders were crafty. They leapt to the walls, climbing to evade my blasts, and they utilized their long legs to shield themselves from my blows. But I knew they couldn't elude my attacks forever. I persisted, hitting them again and again with my fire until there was nothing left of the spiders but ash. With those minions defeated, I returned to the square to see how the Fire Hornet was doing. I was sure he was devastating Octavia, but when I emerged, I saw he was getting overpowered. Oh no! Before I could do anything, the Hornet fell to the ground, defeated. I immediately ran in to try to help him. I used my new power to catch the spider by surprise.
Puny insect.
Octavia focused all her attention on me, and with nowhere else to run, I charged in to fight. Octavia leapt toward me ferociously, spewing sizzling poison from her venomous maw. She began spawning hordes of spider minions to attack me at her command. Getting overwhelmed, I retreated toward the top of the buildings, but she followed me up, shooting strings of webbing flying my way. I tried to hit her back with my flames, but it was no use. The embers bounced right off her skin. It was becoming apparent the fight was hopeless. I gotta get out of here. I flew over to the Fire Hornet as fast as I could. Come on, man, we gotta go.
Okay, I think I can get up.
As we were escaping, we ran into a few more minions who stopped us in our tracks.
Oh, you ain't going nowheres.
I don't have time for this. I desperately blasted through them, being careful not to get hit even once because I only had half a heart left. The spiders spat at me, shooting globs of acid from their mouths, but I expertly dodged their poisonous blows. I fired back with a powerful fiery blast, setting the spiders ablaze. Luckily, I was able to take them all out and we escaped to the outskirts of town. But the Fire Hornet was not looking good. He was dying. On day 4, I was trying to help the Fire Hornet, but there was nothing I could do.
Nice moves out there, kid.
Not as good as you. You were amazing.
You will be soon, when you become the next Fire Hornet.
What? I can't be like you. I'm just a little guy.
In the last 3 days, didn't you ever wonder why your fuzz was a little more orange than your bee brothers?
My mama always said I was born a little well done.
Exactly. You were made for this. You can't run from your destiny. I used to be a little bug like you too. But when Octavia came into power and started pillaging towns, I swore to train every day until I could defeat her. It looks like that's not gonna happen. So now it's up to you.
But I don't even know where to start.
The land around here has a way of leading us where we need to go. All we gotta do is listen to it.
I don't really know what that means. I don't hear anything.
Look for the 5 elemental stones. They'll give you the power you seek.
With that, the Fire Hornet died beside me, leaving me with the sole responsibility of defeating Octavia. On days 5 through 6, I buried the Fire Hornet under the shade of a lone tree at the top of a nearby hill. Rest easy, partner. I hope you're wrangling cattle in the big old ranch in the sky. I gave the Fire Hornet a moment of silence. As sad as I was, I knew I couldn't just stand around mourning. Time to get work on the homestead. Need a place to live if I want to survive. So, I built a ranch out of nearby wood and rock. Starting with the homestead, I included high walls to keep the enemies at bay, and enough storage to gather all the necessary supplies to fight Octavia. I then wrangled up some cows and fenced them in. Y'all ain't going nowhere. Then I built a well as a source of fresh water. As I finished the door, and as night fell, my ranch was suddenly attacked by zombies and skeletons. No rest for the wicked, I see. I used my superior firepower to fight them off, dodging volleys of arrows from skeletons and beating back hordes of zombies. I tried to fly above them to avoid their undead fury, but the skeletal archers knocked me out of the sky. I was quickly surrounded by all sides. I blasted out flamethrowers with every ounce of fire inside of me until all of the undead were toast. That's the last of them. I gathered my things and headed inside. I'm beat. Time for a little... There was a knock at the door, and so late at night. I opened the door expecting a zombie or skeleton, but instead I found a firefly?
I thought it was you, the Fire Hornet. You were amazing fighting off all those zombies, like fire attack, sting, sting, sting.
Wait, I think you got the wrong idea here, little fella.
Wait, do you mean you aren't the Fire Hornet?
Of course I'm that. I mean, him. I am him.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's really you. You look so different from your wanted poster.
Wait, wanted poster?
Haven't you heard? The Scarlet Spinneret made you an outlaw, and she's offering one heck of a reward too for your capture. Dead or...
Alive, right? Preferably alive. Maybe alive is underlined or in all caps?
Deader.
Well, I mean, no one's gonna actually turn me in, right?
I wouldn't be so sure of that. Octavia released the 5 deadliest gangs from prison and they've taken control over all nearby towns. Of course, that'd be no problem for you. You're way stronger than those guys.
Oh, about that. I actually, lost my powers during my last tussle with Octavia. If only there was a true fan here who might know how I could get those powers back.
Ooh, I'm a true fan. This is just like what happened in Adventures of Fantastic Fire Hornet issue 1, where you defeated the 5 gang leaders to obtain the Flamental Stones.
Right, of course, I knew that because I am the Fire Hornet, but maybe you tell me what you know just to prove your fanliness.
Originally, when the Scarlet Spinneret took over many years ago and the 5 gangs rose to power, they each had a Flamental Stone that fueled them. Whenever the Fire Hornet would defeat a gang, he would gain a new ability from their Flamental Stone.
Right, I totally knew that. Guess I've got no choice but to go defeat those gangs and rustle up those stones. On days 9 through 10, I headed out in search of the first Flamental Stone, but before I could leave my base, I was stopped by Fanboy.
Wait, please let me go with you.
What? No, you're just a little guy.
You're only a little bit bigger than me. Plus, I know where the closest gang is.
That is fair. All right, you can come. With that, Fanboy led me to a town that was taken over by skeletons. We hid behind some nearby cover and observed them. They were patrolling around what had to be a Flamental Stone in the center of town. Skeletons? How the heck am I supposed to kill what's already dead?
Those aren't just any old skeletons. Those are Bone Malone's bony bandits. They may be brittle, but they're real tough.
How did I defeat them the first time? I'll just do that again.
Well, they had numbers, so you had to use stealth to take the Flamental Stone from right under their nose holes.
Just then, a skeleton popped up behind us, taking us by surprise.
Huh? What's this about a Flamental Stone? Hey boys, it's your chums trying to take a Flamental Stone.
I was frozen in place with fear, but I had to act brave or Fanboy would know I wasn't the real Fire Hornet, so I sprang into action. I'm not just trying, I'm gonna take that Flamental Stone, and you rickety rapscallions can't stop me.
Alrighty boys, rattle them.
The skeletons charged at me all at once. The shamans cast beams of poison at me. The archers barraged me with their arrows, and the warriors slashed at me with their swords. Most of the undead husks burned to a crisp at the touch of my flames, but the skeleton warriors were able to deflect my fire with their shields. The embers bound bounced right off and extinguished onto the ground below. I tried to create some distance between myself and the skeletons, but they were unrelenting, following me no matter where I flew, giving me no choice but to fight back. After defeating most of the skeletons, I went to grab the Flamintal Stone, but it was gone.
Smell you later, suckers.
Some skeleton stragglers ran off with the stone. On days 11 through 13, I sprinted after them.
Wait for me! I gotta go with you so I can document this for my fan club.
No, you stay here. Don't worry, I'll be right back. I chased after the skeletons until I had them backed into a corner. Well. Looks like there's nowhere left for y'all to run. Now, hand over the Flamintal Stone and maybe I won't cremate you.
Oh, we weren't running. We were leading you to our boss.
I don't see your boss anywhere. What did Fanboy say his name was? Skeleton Johnson? That's not it. Peter Femur? No, that's not right.
It's Bones Malone!
No, that definitely doesn't sound right. Wait a minute. I turned around to find the source of the noise, only to see a giant skeleton now standing right in front of me.
You're supposed to be the replacement for the Fire Hornet. You look more like a fly, a pesky little thing, begging to be swatted.
Stepping into a mysterious dark void in an instant, Bones Malone teleported behind me, taking me by surprise. I recoiled back and sprang into action. I quickly learned staying too close to the giant skeleton was a death sentence as he spun around, slicing all who go near with his razor-sharp scythe. So I flew away, creating some distance between us. When I wasn't hitting him with my ranged fire blast, I was darting around him with great speed so as to avoid his blows. The skeleton retaliated by throwing his blade towards me, which circled around and flew right back into his hands like a boomerang. He bellowed as my flames torched his bony exterior. Bones Malone proved to be no match for my fire abilities as he tilted his head forward, defeated. His bones turned to dust and blew into the wind. With him out of the way, I picked up the Flamintal Stone. Its power surged through me and I began to transform. I grew larger and became more menacing. I gained 10 new hearts and my fire powers manifested an awesome scythe with a fire slash ability. I tested it out on the cacti around me. Oh yeah, this is awesome. I could do this all day. Wait, I forgot about Fanboy. I better go back for him. I hurried back into town, but when I arrived, the place was crawling with spiders and Fanboy was nowhere to be seen. On days 14 through 17, I marveled at the spider-infested city. There's so many of them. Even with my new power, I don't think I could take all of them. Suddenly, the spiders saw me and began to chase after me. I started to run back towards my base. The spiders chased me all the way into the Badlands. I knew I had to shake them. I tried to lose them by weaving through canyons and flying over cliffs, but it was no use. They were determined to follow me. By the time I arrived all the way back to my base, I managed to lose most of them, but a couple were able to follow me all the way there. Now that it was a smaller group, I was able to take them. Before I even had a chance to utilize my new Flame Slash ability, I was knocked backwards and sent flying into the air as one of the spiders rolled into me with a huge amount of force. I knew I had to keep my distances to avoid their physical blows, so I flew back. But even in the air, I was not safe. I was hit with a glob of poison that singed my flesh and ate at my health. I retaliated with my ranged attacks, sending beams of fire raining down on the spiders below. Eventually, I was able to defeat all of them except for one. If you want to keep your life, you better get talking, partner.
Talk! Alright. From the moment I hatched on that rainy May 10th, 1987, I knew I was different. While my brothers and sisters found solace in spinning webs, I yearned for something more. The stage.
I don't mean your life story. Tell me what you know about the other gangs.
Oh, well, now that Bones Malone and his bony bandits are gone, the closest gang is the Lizards. Now, where was I? Mama didn't approve of my dreams. Jimmy, she said, you can't be an actor. You know what happened to your pop.
I'm just gonna go. I left the spider to his ramblings and awkwardly inched away. On days 18 through 21, I went out searching for the Lizard Gang. I hoped to find Fanboy while I was out there too. But while I was looking for them, I got distracted by the sound of a woman crying for help in the distance.
I want someone, please help me.
Don't worry, ma'am. Your friendly neighborhood Hornet is here to help. I flew over to her. What seems to be the problem here, little missy?
My cat Whiskers got him so stuck in this here tree.
I'll get it down for you. I flew up to the top of the tree and found the cat turned away from me. This is one ugly cat, ma'am. What is this? One of them there sphinxes? Kinda looked like it got run over by a wagon, and then the wagon reversed and ran over it again. Suddenly, the cat turned around, only to reveal it wasn't a cat at all, but a lizard. It was a trap. Trickery.
This is for Stinky Pete and his scale squad. Skin 'em, boys.
A bunch of lizards surrounded me and jumped me all at once. Looks like you leave me no choice. On days 22 through 25, even though the scale squad caught me by surprise, I was able to beat them with relative ease. I killed one of them and the other two immediately changed their tune.
Wait. We're sorry. Please don't kill us. We're sorry about the whole skinning thing.
Fine, I'll spare you, but on one condition.
Anything.
Take me to your leader, Stinky Pete Skink. The lizard led me into a gold mining operation that was packed wall to wall with even more lizards, like a real snake pit. They eyed me down. It was clear they were itching for a fight. If y'all cold-blooded cowards are gonna attack me, might as well get her done now.
Simmer down, cowpoke. We're not gonna fight you.
Oh, really? Dang, I thought I sounded so cool just now. Well, why not?
Our leader, Stinky Pete Skink, is a pacifist. Says scruffling's against his principles.
What about those guys back there that attacked me literally just a minute ago?
Our leader's a pacifist. We're not. So you best stay in line, partner.
Okay, so what does that mean? No smackdown for the Flamental Stone?
Stinky Pete Skink wants to wager with you for ownership of the stone. Says I'm to escort you to the game.
A game? This is highly irregular, but I do quite like games. I'm fond of Parcheesi myself. All right, lizard, lead the way. Stinky Pete's minion walked away, and hesitantly, I followed behind him. On days 26 through 29, the lizard led me all the way to his leader's quarters. Inside, Stinky Pete Skink was really there waiting for me, menacingly.
Ah, just the fire hornet I wanted to see. Or should I say, the only fire hornet. Get it? 'Cause Octavia killed the other one?
Yeah, I get it. How long did it take you to think of that one?
So long. But that's besides the point. Now I'm not like the other gang leaders. I detest their brutish violence. So, if you want my Flamental Stone, you needn't beat me in a fisticuffs. Only in a battle of wits.
How are we supposed to battle with our wits?
It's easy, really. I'll ask you 3 riddles. If you are able to answer at least 2 of them correctly, the stone is yours.
The guys who led me here said it would be a game. Riddles aren't a game.
Stop complaining. Question 1. During the day, I'm weakened and frail, but when the sun sets, I prevail. What am I?
As he spoke, he also threw an item out onto the table. A creeper.
Ding, ding, ding! Correct! Now on to question 2. Solid and sturdy, a material true. Building blocks of life, it's something we all use. From trees it comes, with a grain that shows. A versatile resource, wherever it goes. What am I?
Wait. A wood block!
Congrats, me boy! You did it! Now, of course, I, being a pacifist, will abide by the terms of our game. Is what I would say if I wasn't lying, which I am. Get him!
Stinky Pete Stink and the other lizards in the building rushed me all at once. I had no choice but to fight back. With an explosion, the fight poured out into the street, where our battle continued. Stinky Pete and the second in command followed after me, running as fast as their large frames could carry them. Even Stinky Pete's comparatively much smaller minions joined in the fight. My flame slash made quick work of them, slicing through their scaly exterior. But being so close wasn't safe. Wanting to avoid the reach of the larger, too powerful bites, I took to the skies, hitting them with a barrage of fire from above, slaying all of Stinky Pete Skink's remaining army. With all the lizards taken care of, there was only one left to deal with, Stinky Pete Skeek, who had started cowering away from me. I approached him and charged up a blast of fire, ready to quickly finish him off.
You don't have to kill me. You and I are the same. I hate the Scarlet Spinneret and her stupid spider gang just as much as you.
You hate the spider gang as well?
Yes, loathe them. Let me help join you, and I'll show you just how much.
I looked directly at this troublesome lizard and said, I'll consider it if you hand over the Flamental Stone.
Well, I don't exactly have it, you see.
I shot a blast of fire near Stinky Pete's feet to show him I meant business.
But I can take you to it. We could go right now. Just don't shoot any more fire at me.
I agreed and followed the lizard to an abandoned mine shaft. He showed me a couple of mine carts that we could use to get there faster. We looked at each other and realized that idea wouldn't work. We followed the rails, taking a bit longer than anticipated, so I decided to ask some questions. So you put the stone all the way down here?
Sure did.
But why? There's got to be a better place than here.
Why? Because this is where the Woolymph lives. That's why.
The Woolymph?
Couple years ago, Woolymph decided to move in. Killed a couple dozen miners, rest of them left. That's why these tunnels are abandoned.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. What? Why would you want the Flamintal Stone to be guarded by such a terrible monster?
Well, originally it was so people like you would never get your grubby little bee hands on it. Pretty funny in hindsight if you ask me, considering I'm bringing you down here and all.
We reached the end of the tracks in the deep, dark mines, but after stepping into the open and floating forward a bit, I realized that Stinky Pete and I weren't alone. Without a moment's hesitation, the Woolymph leaped out of the shadows and attacked me. Ah, what is this thing?
I told you, it's a Woolymph!
I retaliated with fire slashes to fend the beast back, but it was massive. It also didn't help that the cave room wasn't that big and was hard to maneuver around in. The fur-covered monster did its best to charge at me, trying to skewer me with its horns. Stinky Pete just watched in amusement from the sidelines. Eventually, I was able to subdue the beast with a barrage of flamethrowers.
Nice work, Zacko!
I looked near where the Woolymph had fallen. He dropped the second stone. I floated towards it and picked it up. Okay, Zacko, you've done it before. Easy as pie. I gained 5 more hearts and unlocked a new power. The power of Meteor Strike. I could fly up into the air and crash back into the ground with a fiery impact. Suddenly, interrupting everything, one of the members of the Scale Gang came running in, screaming at the top of his lungs.
Boss! Boss! Boss!
What is it, Komodo?
There's a spider gang. They're on the move. And the word is, they're gonna destroy the ranch.
Shoot!
Our ranch?
No, the fire hornets.
Oh, shoot!
What are we gonna do, boss?
Hang on, where did you even come from? Ugh, never mind, I gotta go. Stinky Pete, Skink, and I dashed out of the mines as fast as we could. On days 38 through 41, the two of us made it all the way back to my base. Not only was it under attack by spiders, it was also full of strangers. But there was no time to worry about that. The spiders were destroying my base and I had to get rid of them. I charged in, ready for a fight. I tried to defend my base from the spiders, but I couldn't use the full force of my fire powers because I didn't want to hurt the innocent bystanders. I also didn't want to leave the villagers unprotected. But luckily, Stinky Pete was there to help defend the villagers, so I focused on the rollers who were jumping up to attack me. The spiders were starting to overwhelm us, and the villagers were forced into the fight, but they held their own pretty well. Slowly, we were able to pick them all off one by one, and the base was secure once again. With the imminent threat out of the way, I approached Fanboy to ask about all the new people in my base. Hey, I'm glad to see you're safe. Where have you been?
Fire Hornet, I've been on one crazy adventure. After I ran from those spiders, then I had to go through the treacherous swamps of...
Okay. Did you happen to know anything about why there's suddenly a bunch of random people in my house?
To celebrate my return, I've set up a meeting for the Fire Hornet fan club here later tonight. So it's probably people showing up early for that. Or I guess it could be townsfolk who lost their homes to spiders.
Yeah, definitely the latter. Knowing I wouldn't get anything helpful out of Fanboy, I went over to the townsfolk to inquire more.
It seems as though the spider gang has begun attacking the other gangs in full force.
What? I thought they were supposed to be allies.
As I fled the destruction of our town, I overheard some of her minions talking, and apparently she decided she can't trust other gangs after one of them betrayed her. Not sure which one would be stupid enough to do that, though.
So, the spiders destroyed y'all's town. It's mighty impressive you were able to escape unscathed.
We wouldn't have been able to if not for the mayor. He stayed behind so that we could escape. Some of us were planning a rescue mission, considering that now the town is almost completely unguarded.
No, it's not safe for y'all to go back there. I'll go rescue the mayor. But I couldn't leave the base as is. It was in ruins. And so, on day 42 through 45, I got to work building. First, I repaired all the damage caused by the spider attack. Then, I expanded my base, adding more rooms so that it could house all of the townspeople. And finally, I fortified its defenses so that it could withstand any further attacks. Now the place was looking snazzy, but there was one more thing I had to do before I left. Tell Fanboy the truth. Well, I'm gonna be heading out of here soon to go rescue the mayor.
Are you sure you're ready, boss? The Scarlet Spinneret might be there, and you only have 2 of the Flamental Stones. Plus, I promised my fan club members you'd be here for the photo op.
Don't worry, Fanboy. Fire Hornet always pulls through. I gave Fanboy an affirmative pat on the head.
I am never washing my body ever again.
Yeah, about that. Fanboy, I gotta come clean to you. I'm not actually the guy from the comics.
What do you mean? Of course you are.
No, I'm not. The real Fire Hornet died, and I was tasked with taking up the mantle. Is that alright with you?
Dead? This is so much to take in. I don't know. I need some time to think about this. Guess I'll have to bathe after all.
As Fanboy trudged away with tears streaming down his face, as much as I wanted to confront him, I had to leave to go rescue the mayor. On days 46 through 49, I arrived in the town, and everything was in ruins. Through the wreckage, I saw Octavia and the mayor at the edge of town. She seemed angry with him. I couldn't hear what she was saying, but she looked like she was yelling at him. Suddenly, she chased him into a cave. Oh no, I have to save him. Someone must have spotted me because a bunch of spiders ran toward me in an attempt to stop me.
Why, then the mayor belongs to us, and soon you will too.
The only person I belong to is the West.
What? What does that mean exactly?
It's a metaphor. Attack! I charged in, flames spewing towards the spiders. I used my wings to keep my distance, but the rolling spiders were able to shoot up into the air after me. Luckily, with my new powers, I could slam down upon them with an explosion of fiery energy. The spiders shot at me with their venomous blasts, so I flew in close and started swinging at them with powerful fire sight. Using that strategy combined with my flamethrower, I was able to take out the last few spiders and finish the job. With all the spiders taken care of, I got back to the task at hand, rescuing the mayor. Just then, I saw Octavia leaving town. Hey, get back here! This is a rescue! Put 6 of your 8 hands in the air! It was no use. I was too far from them to hear me, so I went to the entrance of her lair instead to rescue the mayor. On days 50 through 53, I delved deep into the dark cave that had been carved out near town. I lost sight of the outside world as I descended into the caverns. Nevertheless, I continued to look for the mayor traveling deep down into the earth. Past the dank corridors and narrow tunnels, I found a cleared out section of the cave that must have been the main chamber of Octavia's lair. I looked around, and luckily there was no sign of Octavia, only the mayor, who was sitting on a very comfortable-looking couch. Don't worry, Mayor, I'll save you from this prison. A prison with a luxury bachelor pad and heated leather seats and a jacuzzi? Huh, this place looks pretty nice for a prison. Wait a minute. Suddenly, the mayor snuck up behind me and knocked me out. As my consciousness was fading, he stood over me menacingly.
The Scarlet Spinneret will be so pleased once you're good and dealt with.
On days 54 through 57, I woke up inside of a cell. I looked around and realized I was no longer in Octavia's cave. This had to be the mayor's house. Just then, the mayor strolled in, peering at me through the bars. You! I should have known you were in cahoots with the spider. You're both arachnids after all.
Hey, arachnid stereotypes are actually very hurtful. This ain't about that. I was just trying to save my own hide.
Scorpions don't even have hides, just exoskeletons. Besides, only a coward would do something so selfish.
So what if I'm a coward? I'm gonna get out of here alive. Now, you on the other hand, you won't be so lucky.
I'm not scared of Octavia's second-rate second-in-command.
Oh, I'm more than that. I'm also Scarlet Spinneret's personal chef. She's been having a mighty hankering for Fire Hornet souffle, and supper is gonna be any minute now.
The scorpion sprinkled me with some powder. Blech, blech. What is this?
Just a bit of basil, cloves, and black pepper to season you up.
No, those seasonings don't go together at all. If you don't switch the basil in time, the flavors are gonna clash. The mayor left the room laughing menacingly. No! Once he was gone, I couldn't hold back my anger any longer. With a burst of rage-fueled fire, the bars shattered around me. I was free. Now, all I had to do was escape the mayor's mansion, full of spider guards. On days 58 through 61, I began sneaking my way through the mansion. I crept past guard after guard without detection until I stumbled upon one of the spiders leaving a vault. While the door was open, I caught a glimpse of what was worthy of so much protection. A Flamental stone. That's some awful security. Now the third stone is mine. That's when I realized I wasn't alone. There was a guard inside the vault as well.
Hey, stop right there!
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just a spider like you guys.
No, you're not. You only have 6 legs, not 8.
Did you count them?
Oh, no, I didn't actually. That's a good point. 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. Spiders don't have wings. He's stalling.
I grabbed the Flamental stone and began to transform. I was now a full-blown fire hornet. I also gained the fire overcharge power and 10 more hearts. Charged with the power of the blazing inferno within me, I blasted my way out of the mayor's house in a massive fiery explosion. But I wasn't out of danger yet. Octavia was approaching. It was clear from her expression that she was itching for a fight.
You get back here.
Oh, this is awkward. I was actually just leaving.
You aren't going anywhere.
She jumped down from her spot on the mountain and started blasting me with venom. I activated my overcharge ability and flew in to retaliate. I started doing a bit of damage to her, but then she started hatching minions to defend herself. While I was distracted, she was able to trap me in a cocoon. She started taking shots at me while I was trapped. Even with 3 Flamental stones and having transformed into a fully fledged fire hornet, I still wasn't strong enough to take on Octavia. I knew for the time being, I had to retreat. You know, the guard earlier made a really good point. Spiders don't have wings.
What guard? What are you talking about? I wasn't there.
With that, I spread my wings and flew off into the sky where Octavia couldn't reach me. I barely escaped the spider's grasp and flew back to my base. On days 62 through 65, I returned to my base. I was exhausted from my journey, but I was eager to train using my new form. I set up some training dummies made of straw and tested out my new powers. This is awesome. I'm awesome. Soon I'll definitely be strong enough to take on the Scarlet Spinneret. Suddenly, my training was interrupted by Fanboy, who sheepishly approached me.
Wow, look at you. You look just like him. Or I guess I should say looked, because he's dead, just like my dreams.
Yeah, I'm sorry for lying to you about being the real Fire Hornet.
It's alright. Besides, you look like the real Fire Hornet to me.
Oh, you really think so? Thanks, buddy.
Of course. At least way more so than you did when we first met. You didn't look like a hornet at all. More like a red bee.
You think I look more like a hornet now? I have a tail. Suddenly, one of the townsfolk ran up to me.
Zacko, I have heard word that the gunslinging gang leader, Paulie the Pistol, is on its way here right now. If he's bringing his whole crew, this base won't stand a chance. He'll blow us all to smithereens.
Polly who pistols what now? Don't worry, I won't let that happen. I'll make sure this base is impenetrable. And so I got to work improving my base. I started by building a watchtower so that we could keep an eye out for any intruders. I also dug out a moat that circled all the way around my walls, filling it with lava. Now, no one can enter without my say-so. That Polly puny pistols doesn't stand a chance against us now. Just then, an eerie, mysterious figure approached my base.
Fire Hornet, I'm calling you out.
On days 66 through 70, I gazed down at the stranger from atop my walls.
The name's Polly the Pistol, but you can call me the rootinest, tootinest, sling-slanging bing bar this side of the panhandle.
Is that your full name? Cause I don't think I'm gonna remember all that. Look, I don't wanna fight you. And since you came here alone, it seems you don't wanna fight either. Maybe we could be allies.
It's too late for allying. I came here alone, cause you got a reputation, partner, and I want to challenge you to a duel for my honor.
A duel. Alright, sounds easy enough. I flew down in front of Polly as he eyed me up and down.
On the count of 3, we draw. 1.
Draw? Draw what? Like a rainbow or...
No, you nincompoop, how guns?
Wait, I don't have any guns. Can we reschedule this duel? Or maybe just like draw straws instead?
2, 3.
Polly whipped out his pistol and began rapid firing at me. The bullets whizzed past me. I charged in with a fiery barrage punch in retaliation. Polly did his best to evade my slashes, keeping his distance, but I struck with my flamethrower from afar, dealing massive damage. He got a good few shots in, but not before I sent him flying with the meteor strike. Even with his guns, Polly proved to be no match for me. All out of ammo and fighting spirit, I hovered above a hopeless-looking Polly on the ground.
Well, finish it then.
After a moment of silence, I shook my head and took a step back.
Why'd you spare me?
Well, why'd you fight me?
For honor.
My answer's the same as yours.
But that can't be. The Scarlet Spinneret told me you were out to get me.
What? I don't even know you, and even if I did, I'd only fight you for a good reason.
I like the cut of your jib.
Well, I could use you on my side in the fight against Octavia. She can't be trusted, obviously.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that impression.
I'm looking for the 5 Flamental Stones to help me defeat her. Think you could lend a hand?
Yeah, I could take you to one of them right now.
On days 75 through 78, the gunslinger led me deep into the forest to a huge ancient temple.
This is the sacred ground of the land spirits and the birthplace of my people. Tread carefully.
I carefully made my way inside, and I was attacked by a group of nature spirits. What in tarnation? I thought you said this place was sacred ground.
They know you're here for the stone. They're testing you.
I slowly fought my way inside, blasting through all of the powerful spirits. They blasted me with some kind of spirit goo that gave me slowness and did a ton of damage. All of them together were super overwhelming, but I fought them all off with my powerful fire blasts. Once all of the smaller dudes were defeated, a big guy emerged. He started smashing things up recklessly, shooting powerful nature magic into the air and jumping everywhere. Once I was able to wrangle him, I started blasting him with my fire scythe abilities and catching everything around him on fire with my flamethrower power. He was a powerful opponent, but I was able to slowly wear him down and eventually took him out. With the big guy down and just when I thought I fought through them all, I blacked out. On days 79 through 82, I woke up in some kind of spirit realm. Hello? Where am I? Just then, a figure emerged from the mist.
You are speaking with the spirit guardians of this land.
Okay, why am I here?
You must prove to us that you are worthy of taking the stone.
I thought I already did that by killing all those dudes back there.
That was only the first part. For your second challenge, you must have a shootout with yourself.
A twin spirit version of myself appeared behind me, and I wasted no time. I took the shot and he went down. Easy.
It's best 2 out of 3.
What? Hey, no fair. I returned out of the mist after being defeated. It was 1-1, and it all came down to this moment. I stared myself down and got ready to draw my scythe. I could tell he was gonna draw his any second. I whipped out my scythe and struck him down as fast as I could. I was victorious. Ha! I did it! On days 83 through 86, I woke up back inside my body. There was chaos all around me, and I didn't know what was going on. As my eyes adjusted, I realized that Fanboy and Gunslinger were protecting me from a swarm of spiders and robots. Robots?
It's the android gang from Circuit City. They're here to stop you from getting the stone.
Well, they're too late for that. Suddenly, the stone had appeared inside my inventory, and I used it to power up and gain 5 hearts. I also unlocked my Fire Fist abilities. All right, let's go. I charged into battle to fight the spiders and robots, and I was slicing through them all with ease. I charged in with my fire abilities. They weren't super effective against the robots, but I realized I had new power from the stone. I started using my new rapid fire fist attack against them, and they were dropping like flies. Just when I thought this would be a piece of cake, the leader of the android gang emerged.
My name is Operandi Andy. Prepare to die.
This one's mine. The massive robot swung down at me with his huge fists, and I started slashing at him with my fire scythe abilities. By rapidly swinging at his body, I was able to continuously reset his operating system and prevent him from taking any more huge swings at me. With my rapid punches, I was able to bring him down to his last leg. I finally destroyed Operandi Andy. It's time to end this. Let's get back to the base and prepare. On days 87 through 90, I returned to the base with my crew and gathered everyone together to make a speech. Alright, listen up everyone. Soon, I'm gonna be setting out to free the people of our little western town. Whatever's waiting for me, I will be ready for it. Once I've done that, I'm gonna face the Scarlet Spinneret herself. I might not come out of that alive, so I need you to make sure the legend of the Fire Hornet lives on.
If you can defeat Octavia all on your own, I'll never stop saying your name.
Isn't there anything else we can do to help?
Actually, there is. You can like the video, subscribe so you never miss another one, and comment who you think I should survive as next.
Can do, partner.
And kid, did you subscribe to the channel?
Of course. Isn't there something else I can do though? I want to fight by your side.
Sorry kid, I can't let you do that. I gotta do this alone. I'm a lone wolf of sorts.
Oh, okay. Good luck.
And with that, I left home one last time. On days 91 through 93, I approached the town for the final time. As I got close, I realized the place was crawling with plant people. Ugh, not another gang.
I'm Otto Oriander, and this is my Clover crew. Get 'em, boys.
Okay, the alliteration thing is getting ridiculous. A swarm of plant creatures charged at me, and I blasted them with everything I had. Otto's goons were slow but powerful, using their fist-like vines to slam down onto me with great might. Looks like even with all that strength, you're still weak to fire. I began charging up all of my power. With a surge of might, I unleashed a meteor strike that shook the very earth upon impact. The unleashed inferno scorched the plants and inflicted significant damage. I swiftly dispatched the lingering plant entities with a skillful flame slash, cleaving through them effortlessly, or so I believed. My momentary triumph was shattered when a glob of black poison struck me, jolting me back to reality. There were still some stationary plant creatures who were spitting acid towards me. With a ferocious fiery blast, I scorched the last of Otto's minions, leaving only their leader left to deal with. I charged the big guy himself. He unleashed a swirling torrent of acidic spray, dousing his surroundings in a relentless assault akin to a frenzied sprinkler. I took to the skies, soaring to such heights that even his tentacle-like vines couldn't reach me. Not one to be outdone, Otto conjured a swarm of undead insect husks. They ascended with fervor, charging at me in a menacing onslaught. With a powerful burst of fiery energy, I unleashed a blast of fire that disintegrated them into mere dust. Otto refused to allow me to approach him directly. He swiftly generated new vines, springing forth from the very ground, forming an impenetrable barrier around his vulnerable base. Undeterred, I tapped into my newfound abilities for rapid-fire punches, relentlessly pummeling his resilient vines. Blow after blow, my fists struck with determination until nothing remained of his once formidable defenses. With just Otto's core left, I charged up my meteor strike and unleashed it upon him, striking him down once and for all. After beating the gang boss, I powered up again and gained another 5 hearts and my fire geyser power. I was finally as strong as my predecessor, maybe even stronger. With all of the lesser gangs finished off, I continued deeper into town. On days 94 through 96, I was stopped by the mayor of the town. You got some nerve showing your face around these parts.
You can't do this! This is my town! If you free this town, the Lady Octavia will just take another!
I've had just about enough of you. In one swift movement, I killed the mayor and began the process of freeing all of the townsfolk he had imprisoned. Gunslinger and Fanboy even arrived to help. Hey, what are y'all doing here? I told you I work alone.
We just wanted to see how we could help. Now that you saved the town, we can head home and celebrate.
Oh no, that's not how this works. You go on ahead. I need to stay back and stop Octavia once and for all.
Okay, well, if you're staying, then I'm staying to help.
No, Fanboy, today is not your day.
Well, why not?
Because someone's gonna need to carry on my legacy. Take on the mantle of the Fire Hornet if I don't make it.
But I couldn't do that. I'm just a little guy.
I thought the same thing.
I'm not even a hornet.
You're a firefly, aren't you? I turned away to prepare for the final fight, leaving Fanboy with much to think about. On days 97 through 98, I floated above the recently emptied cages, with Octavia standing across from me, outside of the mayor's house. Octavia, I'm calling you out! We both stood there, tense, waiting for the other to make the first move. I thought she was going to charge at me, but then she spoke.
You're not even worth my time, puny insect.
Instead of coming after me herself, she just sent more of her minions after me and then returned to her lair. Fight me yourself, you coward! I began slashing through her minions, slowly making my way towards the mouth of the cave. On day 99, I was still slashing my way through her countless minions. I was able to dispatch them quickly now, but there were so many of them. Eventually, I took them all out just as I arrived at the entrance of her lair. I flew inside to confront her. Octavia, I said I'm calling you out. I looked around, but I didn't see her. Before I knew what was happening, she jumped down from above me. I immediately retaliated with a forceful blow, launching her skyward. Octavia conjured webs out of thin air, allowing her to scale the cave ceiling. She swiftly began hatching eggs, releasing a horde of spider minions that descended upon me. I made quick work of them, but my victory was short-lived as Octavia fell back down and our fight continued. With a relentless barrage, I sent her soaring into the air once more. In a desperate attempt, she unleashed a flurry of webbing, but my searing flames devoured them instantaneously. Octavia refused to yield, releasing toxic globules of poison that tainted the cavernous floor with a sickly green ooze. Suddenly, I found myself ensnared within the cocoon of her webbing, but I refused to be subdued for long. Breaking free from the confining web, I pursued Octavia with unwavering determination as she sought refuge in the corner of the cave ceiling. There would be no escape for her this time. Suspended in midair, I unleashed a volley of fiery blows. The fight was close, and I really wasn't sure which way it was gonna go, but we were both weakening each other quite a bit. Suddenly, there was a huge explosion of energy between us, and we both fell to the ground. On day 100, I looked around blurry-eyed. For a moment, I wasn't sure if I was alive or dead. The room had fallen quiet, and I turned to Octavia to see that she had fallen. Ha ha! Yes! Ugh. My celebration was cut short by a sharp pain in my chest. Her venom had pierced my heart. This is the end. I may die, but the legend of the Fire Hornet will live on. Zacko.